Hey y'all, my name's Zachary. I'm one of your CSE 123 TAs, and today we'll be discussing debugging. Now, I already have the bomb.java file installed, as well as the profile for CSE 123 Java. If you're missing either of these files, I would go ahead and install them right now, so you can follow along with the video. Now, this bomb file does something peculiar when you run it. Besides all this jargon at the top, it throws an exception that says boom, which means I've now died. To avoid dying too many times, we want to defuse it using a code. And we don't know what this code is. For example, if we try to replace it with meow, and the occasion that would be the code, let's run it again, boom. I've just died again. So, let's figure out let's figure out what this code is using debugging, because debugging has many usages, and viewing variables is one of its purposes. That probably doesn't mean a lot right now, but I hope in a moment it will. Let's go down to the left-hand side where it says run and debug, and if you've already ran and debugged code, you'd have this JSON file. But if not, go ahead and click create a launch JSON file. We can ignore that and close it for now, but now we have three funny boxes on the left. One says variables, one says watch, and one says call stack. We can ignore the call stack and the watch because they're not important for this Java file specifically. But for the variables, this is very important because we want to be able to see what each variable is storing, so we know what the secret code is. Now, let's try running the debug again and see what happens. Boom. That means I've died again. So, we simply can't just run debug by itself. We want to add something called breakpoints. Now, breakpoints are added by going to the left of the line numbers, and you'll see this red dot hover, or outline. And if you click, then you'll create a red dot, which is a breakpoint. Let's throw down a couple of these breakpoints. As you get better at debugging, you'll learn where to place these breakpoints to get the most efficiency out of them. But for now, let's just act like they're acne and it's my middle school forehead and just throw a bunch down. Once you're satisfied with how many breakpoints you place down, let's go ahead and run the debug again. So, when we run the debug again, it'll stop at the first breakpoint and outline the line that we're currently going over. And also we get this nifty table at the top. The nifty table has continue, which will bring you to the next breakpoint, or if there's no breakpoints before the end of the method, it will simply end the method. Or step over, which will just go to the next step, which I'll show right here. It should go to the defuse method. Now, step into, which will go into a deeper method if there is available, or it will go to the next step if possible. Step out, which will come out of a deeper method, or restart, which will restart your debug, or stop, which will stop your debug. Now, step into and step out are quite confusing, so I'll show examples of that later in this tutorial. Let's continue by doing a step over. As you can see, because our code length, which was stated, our code was 00000. Wait, was that the right amount of zeros? Anyways, 5 zeros, which means the length was 5. And that length 5 equaled the code length, final integer here, which is 5, which means no bomb explosion was triggered. Now, we can see that there's a string cur equals integer.to hex string code length. Now, what in the world does that mean? I have no idea what the toHexString method does, so what I'm going to do is step into it so I can see what exactly it does. When we step into it, we're brought to a return.toUnsigned string return out of a toHexString method. So we've gone in and we can now see what exactly toHexString returns. So let's step in one more time. And now we are brought to a method which is filled with a bunch of jargon that is too complicated for me to understand. So let's exit back out and then see what we can do to solve the passcode. Let's do a step over. And this will bring us to the first one. And now we know that the code length is 5, which means that this for loop is iterating through 5 times. Let's see what exactly this code is checking. Or this for loop. Now it's scrambling cur, which means that if we click continue, it should go to the next breakpoint, which here would be inside the scramble method. It says that the secret equals 5, or the string secret equals 5. So let's keep going because that means nothing to us right now. Yada yada yada, continue. And now we can see that we're comparing the first character here and the first character here. But let's restart. I want to show what happens if we remove all of these breakpoints, right? And instead of having so many breakpoints, let's just put a breakpoint right where we stopped. And click continue. We can skip right to our first breakpoint. So, if you know where to place your breakpoints, you can expedite the process much faster. Now, once again, we're in the same spot, which is comparing the first character in cur and the first character in code. We can see the first character in cur is 2, and the first character in code is 0. And if they do not equal, then it will throw a new bomb explosion. Which means, because they're not equal, I will explode on the next step. Boom. I've died again. But now we know what the first number is, or the first character. We know that it must be a 2. Let's try running this one more time and see if that 2 is true. Let's run through. Continue. Okay, if the 2 equals the code, or if the first character of our code, which is 2, and the first character of the cur equals 2, then it should not explode on us. Right. It didn't explode because no bomb explosion was thrown. Now, if I go through again and continue, I've exploded once more. So it's now up to you, because I've died too many times, for you to figure out what the rest of the code is by using debugging. Thanks for watching this video.